All right, y'all. We back with another episode. Welcome. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share, all that other shit, fair use disclaimer. I had one of my videos, blocked or whatever you want to call it. I'm not really too sure why. It was a video I did of Alex Jones clip. But I don't even want to get into all that. Fair use disclaimer, though. This is for educational purposes. So we're gonna get into a couple of things. I want to watch this Brittney Griner speech. Excuse me, this Joe Biden speech on Brittney Griner, and them releasing her from Russia, trading her for I believe, arms dealer, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Joint going out. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but I believe it's an arms dealer that they traded her for, which is pretty crazy to me. We'll get into that a little bit as well. But before we get started, like, subscribe, comment once again. Let me know your thoughts on this video. This is my first time watching it, so I'm not really sure what he said. But I just wanted to start off with this because I feel like it is a pretty big topic. This has been a topic of discussion, on social media, as far as what I can see. I'm not sure if everybody's privy to this stuff, but as far as what I see on my social media and YouTube channels and stuff I watch and stuff, this has been a topic of discussion. Do you think it's fair that we had to release a major arms dealer for her? Like, is that an even trade? You know what I mean? I kind of feel like they played on us a little bit. There we go. I feel like they play on us a little bit, using the black community to push shit like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like I say, a WNBA player for Brittney Griner. Nothing against her. She ain't Serena. You know what I mean? She ain't Venus. She ain't Diana Taurasi. You know what I mean? She ain't Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoop, or Cheryl Miller, I believe. That's her name. Cheryl Miller. Yeah, Reggie Miller's sister. Not taking anything away from her. Great WNBA player. But I'm just I don't even want to say a status because that's really irrelevant. But just for a profession, shit. But yeah, nothing against her. Like I was saying, it's good that she got out. I'm just thinking, is that a fair trade? You know what I mean? Like I say, they got a major arms dealer. You know what I mean? We get a WNBA player, and I feel like they play on the black community for that kind of shit. We're gonna get into a little history as well. If you're watching on my Twitch, you'll see that the title may look a little crazy, but it is what it is, and that's basically my mouse tripping. Must be the powers that be. Try to get my mouse to stop from tripping on me, just so we can get this video started. But we couldn't have got more. Like, we couldn't have got more. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't really know how all that shit worked. You know what I mean? How many prisoners of American prisoners, that they may have over there. Even if they do or don't have other with other prisoners, I'm not too privy on all the details regarding, her release. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh no. That's all I'm saying. They hating on me, man. What's going on? Why they got my mouse tripping on me? They don't want me to win, y'all. They don't want a nigga to create content. Got my mouse going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on me. I don't know if y'all can see it. We're gonna figure this shit out, bro. One way or another. Got plugged in this other mouse. Let me see. Let me do that. Just connect that. And then we just go. That don't even make sense, y'all. That don't even make sense, y'all. That don't even make sense. Why my mouse doing this? Why my mouse doing this on me? Please don't do this to me. Y'all ever seen Big Daddy? Shout out to Big Daddy. Adam Sandler. Great movie. One of my favorite lines. Please don't do this to me. What's going on? Right, this shit pissing me off. I thought I'd be able to figure it out. I ain't gonna get frustrated though. For me, I'm gonna sit here. We're gonna chop it up. Even if we don't get this mouse going, we gonna get some content. You know what I mean? We're gonna get some content off. For damn sure. That's for damn sure. Shout out to everybody out there. If you do end up seeing this video, comment down below. Why the fuck y'all think my mouse doing this to me? But yeah, fuck it. We gonna get into it anyway. So come watch the video, but we'll talk about it a little bit. I can't even see shit. I can't deal with, anything right now because then I'm on my mouth working on the nigga. I don't believe that's an even trade. You know what I mean? We could have got something. Could have got something more. Like I said, I feel like they pull on the heartstrings of the black community when it comes to a lot of shit like this, which I don't think is fair because when it comes to important shit for us, reparations, you know what I mean, fucking land, access to certain things, you know what I mean, they really can give two fucks. Perfect example, the shit that's going on with Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? Nike just recently released Kyrie Irving from their deals. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I seen it on Instagram. I haven't confirmed this or not, but I believe they offered Ja Morant a deal. Shout out to Ja Morant. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. He's one of my favorite NBA players at the moment right now. Great young basketball player. Looking forward to seeing nothing against him for that, but I feel like a lot of shit, you know what I mean, we gotta kind of start backing each other when it comes to shit like this. Hopefully Ja Morant going into this deal used what happened with Kyrie Irving as an example. You know what I mean? Hopefully he was able to switch up some things or get certain things in the contract to kind of protect him from social media. Hopefully he was able to get, good guaranteed money going into this. and also good money on the back end as well. Um, Shout out to him. Shout out to Kyrie as well. You know, he recently had a game and I believe on his practice shoes, you know, wrote that he was free. Um, Not too sure what he means by that. Um, I'm sure it's in regards of the Nike deal, but don't know, you know, if he's been trying to get out that deal for a long time. You know what I mean? Or, you know, maybe the relationship between him and the company has, you know, been sour for a minute because Kyrie's been you know, sharing thoughts that a lot of people may not, you know what I mean, really be on the side of, you know, flat earth, you know what I mean, stuff like that, which I don't think anything is a deal. I feel anybody, um, you know, calling somebody crazy or trying to discredit them for having these ideas. Um, I believe, you know what I mean. It could be valid, you know, just like anything else. Any other information we learn, um, you know, we gain information by our own experiences, visually, um, as well, um, stories, um, you know, throughout history from other people. You know, sometimes doing our own research, hopefully doing our own research in these matters. But I don't think we give enough credit to um, our own experiences with a lot of these things regarding flat Earth, regarding um, Illuminati, regarding conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of that stuff we kind of take other people's word for it. You know, we may kind of look into it a little bit, not really too much, which some people may not even want to, which of course is good as well. But I'm just speaking on people um, who who do look into these things and does spend somewhat time, you know, being a conspiracy theorist, um, and and you know, just looking into things yourself. Um, you know, growing up in school, you learn that you know, the Pilgrims came over to the Indians, and you know what I mean. Yeah, they, you know, might have spreaded some disease to them, but at the end they were able to come together and feast and celebrate, and that's how Thanksgiving, you know, was created. When you're young, that's how they tell you in history. When you get a little older, high school stuff like that, you kind of start to hear the stories about how some of the things that were going on were a little harsher, you know what I mean, than the Pilgrims and Thanksgiving. Um, and then even as you get older, you know what I mean, you have to educate yourself, whether it's through college. Even if you go to college, you may not take any, you know, history classes to even continue to learn um, about these kind of things. So you know, you kind of have to look into things yourself. You know, get your own understanding and stuff like that. And for the people who just, you know, he say she say shit, um, I really don't care what you think if you haven't looked at any of this stuff yourself. Like I say, there's a lot of information on there on flat Earth. It's a lot of information on worlds. Um, Beneath the earth, like, you know what I mean. You can find information and people writing on a lot of topics with a lot of detail and stuff like that. So I think it's all just good to have, you know, kind of somewhat of an open um, mindedness when it comes to these topics if you are into these things, and if you're not, then you know, I really don't understand what you're doing here, but like and subscribe. You're more than welcome to join. But I will block you if you on some stupid, goofy shit. I ain't finna sit here and argue with nobody on no bullshit. Um, But going back to the Brittney Griner thing, and I don't believe it was a fair trade. Um, I'm happy that she is home. Hopefully, her experience over there wasn't really um, as harsh as some of the writings about her conditions have been. Um, not to say I'm pretty sure her experience being in jail, not to say that it was pleasant, but hopefully she just wasn't over there doing a whole bunch of crazy manual labor and like working like a slave, like they wrote it to seem. Um, if so, even more than happy, even excuse me, happier for her to be home if she did have, you know what I mean, to go and experience some of those conditions. But there were stories about her possibly being able to coach, or you know what I mean, from the prison and stuff like that. So you just really never know. It's a lot of stories. It's a lot of shit going on. I'm still trying to figure out what's up with this mouse. Ain't been able to, but we're gonna keep it pushing. Um, I wanted to get into a couple other things. Like I said, if you're on uh, the Twitch stream, my mouse is tripping. But if you're on the Twitch stream, my topic may be seeming a little extreme regarding Nazis and shit like that. But I wanted to go over some videos and some stuff regarding that. But I mean, it's nothing new. There's a lot of information on a lot of Nazis that were involved in the war coming over after World War II. Um, you know what I mean? Some of them started NASA, some of them came over and started major companies throughout the world. Some went up into other countries as well, not just to America. So that's nothing new, and for anybody to know that and not think that um, some of those people who did come over from that time may not still have an impact on what's going on today. You're crazy, because if I'm not mistaken, some of those scientists went to work at NASA. Um, actually, um, I believe a lot of them went over to work at NASA. And and if you kind of look into history a little bit, and what Hitler was doing, a lot of it was like eugenics type shit. There was a lot of eugenics type shit going on in America as well, and just a lot of history on eugenics. So it's not like um, I think it's kind of crazy to kind of not look into, what I mean, some of these things. To be honest, I really haven't myself. That's why I'm kind of doing it now. You kind of hear stories growing up, you know what I mean, talking about the scientists that came over. You know what I mean, a lot of stuff that was going on with the trials that happened after those wars. I believe it's like the Nuremberg or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, Dang, I gotta stop saying that. But we're gonna get back into it. Uh, I haven't really had a chance to look into that stuff myself, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. Even Operation Paperclip, which was, you know what I mean, the operation, I guess you can say that brought a lot of these scientists over. Um, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think that these people can be in a major world war on the so-called bad side, and we bring them over to our country. Um, if I'm not mistaken, as well, with new documentation. So they came over. had like a name change, I believe, to some extent, and we're kind of it was kind of hidden, you know. If I'm not mistaken, like people didn't find out until the documents of Operation Paperclip was released and came out in public and stuff like that. So those documents were the documents that go into details about who um, and and some of the Nuremberg trials, if I'm not mistaken, as well. A lot of people were involved. A lot of people went to other countries and stuff, like I said. Um, but I wanted to get into how um, I feel Germany has probably had a big part in American history from the maybe early mid 1800s till its present day, including bringing over those scientists after the World War and um, stuff before that. There were um, I guess a migration, I guess you can call it. I wish my mouse was working so I can, you know what I mean, kind of get into this stuff and really more instead of just going off of what I remember from, and you know what I mean, trying to piece things together just off top. But we're gonna get through it. Stick with me. Like, subscribe, comment, all that other shit. Um, and yeah, we're gonna try to get back to it the best way I can without my mouse working. Still need to figure this situation out. Think it's kind of crazy, uh, you know what I mean, for it to be happening right now. But like I said, I'm live, so fuck it. We're gonna get through it. You know what I mean? Um, and we're gonna make it do what it do. Um, if you are watching, um, if you can, like I said, I can't really, since my mouth's tripping, I can't look at anything. I can't really do much but record. uh, but kind of look into this stuff, you know what I mean, as we go along. And, you know what I mean, if you can, comment, share your thoughts, opinions, and hopefully, if people do come across this video, they can kind of, you guys can kind of piggyback off each other and have that conversation as well, because it's pretty mind blowing to me. Not to say that everybody involved in the world war, um, were evil, um, that were from Germany. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people. Um, um, I don't know. It's a lot of people were kind of, I guess, kind of, I don't want to say worship, but I guess you can, I guess for lack of a better term, we just gonna go with that for a while. Kind of worship Hitler. I remember being in middle school and seeing and like I say worship for lack of a better term because I can't really think of another word to replace that at the moment. But people were drawing swastikas and the little lightning bolts in their folders, and you know what I mean. Some people had like little stitching and stuff on their backpacks and not really are on their like jackets. Some of the gothic kids and stuff like that, and not really saying they knew what those symbols and stuff really meant or what was going on, but I'm pretty sure they had someone's knowledge of what what I mean was going on, and felt that they needed to kind of, I guess, express that on their folders or in their clothing. You know what I mean? So I think like even what's going on with Kanye and Kyrie, um, I think it's kind of crazy. I feel like, you know, um, going back to, KKK, you know what I mean? A lot of those guys were Nazis. I feel like a lot of, um, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like I said. A lot of it is eugenics, period. You know what I mean? That's what the Germans were doing. You know what I mean? That's what, um, you know, the Ku Klux Klan, kind of believe in as well. Um, so it's kind of crazy that they everybody want to make a big deal out of Kanye recent interview on Alex Jones, and oh, he said he loves the Jews and blah blah this and blah blah that, and um, just excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Ooh, all right, got that out the way. But everybody's making a big deal out of this, out of it. Him saying, "Oh, I love," what I mean, the Nazis, and you know, it's kind of like Trump saying there's good people on both sides, kind of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of people made that a big deal as well, but it is what it is. Some people are going to feel how they feel um, based off of the people reactions around them. You know what I mean? That's the the what I say, the word of mouth. You know what I mean? Type of people. You know what I mean? They're gonna feel a certain way about certain, what I mean, topic or issue, depending on some of the information they have gathered and the opinions of, maybe their immediate circle. You know what I mean? Instead of actually going to look into shit themselves and getting their own opinion. Um, Kanye's has been a Christian guy. Um, so to him to say, what I mean, that, yeah, it could be kind of controversial, but if you know Kanye, you know what I mean, he's saying it to be controversial as well. You know what I mean? And he's not necessarily wrong, because if you're a Christian and you follow that stuff, then you're told, um, not to judge. You know what I mean? Um, and to love everybody. So the people that's making a big deal out of it is crazy, because America is supposed to be a Christian nation. You know what I mean? So all the Americans making a big deal about it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can say, him saying the shit about the Nazis and Hitler, kind of extreme, but to make it seem like he's doing something uh, wrong, or what I mean, is just ridiculous, because like I say, the Ku Klux Klan, um, I'm pretty sure a lot of those guys read Hitler's memoirs and watched documentaries and probably worshipped him in a way, just for what he did. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of the white power shit come from. So um, America has a history of that shit as well. You know what I mean? If you look throughout history, you'll find out that the Native Americans were darker skinned people. You would consider black. The so-called pilgrims and them came over, brought disease, killed a lot of them. You know what I mean? That's another form of what I mean, genocide and mass extinction of one race um, to another. Like, so, America is built on that type of shit, um, and kind of followed the same principles. You know what I mean? You can say the Pilgrims was before, what I mean, Hitler. So maybe Hitler kind of followed them. You know what I mean? You can say that, but you know what I mean. It's they're cut from the same cloth. So America is built off of that shit. That's why it's mind-boggling to me that so many people are trying to make it outrage, and the Jewish people want to be so offended, and and stuff like that. And it's kind of ridiculous, you know. It's kind of ridiculous. You have a bunch of Jewish comedians being seen in blackface. You know what I mean? Um, so not to say that ties into um, you know a mass extinction, but we know what blackface is. You know what I mean? They're making fun of black people. Um, and it was a common practice, back in those days. You know what I mean? So we know the history behind it. So the Jewish people slap other communities in the face when it comes to a lot of shit as well. So for them to be so offended by Kanye, um, and even Kyrie just posting a link is ridiculous. You know what I mean? I believe um, Puma is a German company. You know what I mean? Adidas is a German company, if I'm not mistaken. Possibly Nike as well. You know what I mean? Uh, and not to say that Germany shouldn't have access to America. You know what I mean? But I'm just talking about the overall influence Germany has had in America before the world wars, and 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 Hitler. You know what I mean? Um, Regardless if people were traveling back and forth, you know what I mean, to America and Germany, or they migrated from Germany to America. You know what I mean? A lot of people migrated from Germany to America before the world wars. Um, so I think that's a time period. You know what I mean? We should kind of look into to understand um, what was going on in America around those times. I got a couple of videos, um, talking about basically the Black Holocaust. There were a lot of towns, black towns that were flooded, burned down, and demolished during the times of the World War. So that's crazy that we're at war with another country, and then we're burning um, black cities and flooding black cities and shit like this. And crazy to find out that Germany has had a big migration um, into America um, before these things have happened. You know what I mean? Um, and I believe that does tie into the KKK. You know what I mean? They may have been established in America before the migration, but I'm pretty sure some of those participated um, in that as well. You know what I mean? During those times, segregation and you know what I mean, all this shit. So whites really rock with whites, and black really rock with blacks. You know what I mean? Yeah, they may have been a little different, like consider them more. Um, German instead of like white American, you know what I mean? But those Germans, those pale Germans and stuff, still were held on a higher status, I believe, than a lot of the black people. If you want to go off of the history um, that we were taught in middle school, grade school, and high school. There's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of information now. Um, you'll be surprised. I've came across a lot of information regarding history. I gotta stop saying, oh man. I have came across a lot of information regarding history that you know has has been kind of mind blowing. A lot of information out there. Look into it. There's a lot of YouTube channels talking about history. Um, you know, Even like I was saying, Native Americans, being black people, and pyramids in America, and all this other stuff. Um, there's channels out there that talks about even a lot of the Spaniards that were coming over to the Americas, the South Americas, and the North Americas, even being black people. So we grew up in history of Christopher Columbus. You know what I mean, being a pale guy, and there's stories out there where he's depicted as a possible black man. Which is kind of mind-boggling. So just depending on your perspective of what history is, and what we're taught about history. I mean, you can have your own opinion on a lot of this shit. I think it's kind of crazy. Like I said, I wish my mouse was working so I could actually show you some of the shit, some of the information I came across, like the migrations in the early 18 late excuse me mid 1800s, early 1900s. You know what I mean? From, like I said, the Germans to America. There were a lot of other immigrants coming over as well, Italians and stuff. So, but I'm just speaking on Germany right now, and the history with America. Like I stated, the scientists we brought over. Those scientists also came over. Like I said, started NASA, um, um, started major companies and stuff like that. Um, Gotta stop saying started major companies, and kind of, I guess, kind of had to hide a little bit. You know what I mean, as well. Hide their identity to a certain extent. Like I said, a lot of them were given new names, American names. You know what I mean, shit like that. Which I feel is probably common when you're coming over from another country. Some people probably keep their uh, birth name as well. Um, but like I said, it's a lot of information out there regarding this stuff, man, and I feel like we should look into this stuff a little more, and have these conversations about this stuff. That's kind of why I wanted to start this page. And we can get into a lot of other shit as well. Like we talked about the Brittney Griner shit. Want to get into other topics. Some of Kanye's recent interviews and stuff like that. I do have um, a couple of one video now, on the Alex Jones interview. There was a other interviews he recently did, and I feel like he's always dropping some good gems. Whack 100 came out and said that Kanye's behind the scenes working on something big. I just dropped a video on that. So we'll be discussing a whole range of topics. But like I said, I just right now I wanted to get into um, a little history that I was looking into recently. Man, I can't get my mouse working. You know what I mean? So I do apologize on the presentation, but you guys can look into this yourself, man. You guys are smart. Um, so yeah, look into it yourself. It's a lot of information out there, man, and I do believe we should be having these conversations and kind of going. Um, and like I said, conversations, they don't have to be a debate. You can debate and go back and forth, but it don't have to turn into a dick measuring contest, or what I mean, turn into to an argument and shit like that. We're just trying to take in new information and have talks about it, just to uh, keep our brains working. You know what I mean, and make sure we challenge ourselves intellectually. Make sure we challenge ourselves verbally. That's the, dang. I said a lot too. Back to it. Uh, Make sure we challenge ourselves mentally and verbally. Uh, I wanted to create this channel and go over these topics regarding that. Just to get a little more better at explaining my thoughts and ideas. Uh, Also, more comfortable just with speaking in general, speaking on information that I'm not sure about. and being able to research that information that I'm not sure about, and have discussions with people who may be more qualified than me in those topics, or who may not, but just want to have a conversation about this stuff, because, like I say, I feel it's important to challenge ourselves. Like they say, steel sharpens steel. You know, People work out, and do a lot of other things to challenge themselves. And I don't feel we spend enough time doing it in this kind of way. You know what I mean? It also helps with public speaking, I guess, in a way. That's kind of why I wanted to do the live thing and have a back and forth with people. Uh, so you can share thoughts in real time. And, since I'm presenting, to me, it's kind of like I'm speaking to an audience here. They maybe not be physically there, but just having that understanding and that confidence of being able to, express yourself. Uh, I do believe it can help with public speaking. That's why I wanted to go ahead and set this kind of shit up. And why not? You know what I mean? We spend a lot of time talking about shit. Um, Amongst ourselves behind closed doors and stuff like that. So why not have these conversations on a platform? You know what I mean? Maybe able to turn this into something. Maybe able to educate myself while I put out this content. Help others educate themselves, and also just sharpen my skills when it comes to speaking, researching, having a conversation with someone real time as well. You know what I mean? It can go a long way. If you do a lot of this, you know what I mean? Especially if you spend a lot of time on social media and the internet as well, like, why not? You sit there and watch people create content. Why not try to create your own? You know what I mean? Why not try to create your own thoughts? Um, why not try to create your own opinion on topics instead of, what I mean, just going along with what everybody else think or say or feel about, what I mean, certain situations. Like my stance on Brittney Griner. I do believe it's great that she is home. I don't think that's a fair trade. They get an arms dealer who was involved in a bunch of, what I mean, shit, and we get a WNBA player. And I feel like they, play on the black community when it comes to this kind of shit. I wish I could have watched the video on Joe Biden talking behind it, because he had Kamala Harris back there. And honestly, I ain't been, watching too much on news and, you know, politics and shit like that. Of course, with everything voting and everything going on now within the last couple of, months, I kind of have been. But before that, I really haven't seen Kamala, too often. So I think it's even in how that kind of presentation came out. You got Joe Biden and two black women standing behind him, discussing getting the black woman released from, prison in another country. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like they played on our heartstrings. You know what I mean? They continue to, and having these conversations. I feel like we can kind of educate ourselves real time, challenge ourselves when it comes to these ideas, so we can become more informed on these topics. I'm not too familiar with politics, but I will talk about it. You know what I mean? And I hope you guys will, when I talk about it, also, challenge me on certain things, because, like I say, still sharp and still. You know what I mean? When you're playing basketball on a basketball court, you can go your hardest, because you're not only out trying to outplay, the next man, but you want to win, and you also want your teammates around you to play their best. So you're gonna, push yourself to be the, be the best, while your teammates do the same, you know. Still sharpen still. We do it everywhere. When it comes to sports, how come we can't do it when it comes to, looking into history on our own? You know what I mean? And not just sticking to the history we learned in elementary, middle school, and high school. You know what I mean? Not just um, listening to what the news stations are saying about new viruses and new cures, and you know what I mean, shit like that. We got to start looking into this shit ourselves, even when it comes to these bills and stuff like that. That's what I said. I'm not too familiar with politics, but I will talk about politics because I want to learn more about politics. um, I want to learn more about history, so we're going to talk about history. Feel me? I want to learn about more about current events, so we're gonna talk about current events. You feel me? We're gonna talk about whatever I want to say whatever I feel like I want to talk about, but a lot of this shit is gonna be what I want to talk about because it's my shit. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Can't get my mouse to work, man. I do apologize. I had to ramble a little bit because I couldn't get my presentation going because my mouse is tripping. But I do thank you guys for watching. Um, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this, please come back for more. Uh, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And we'll go ahead and get up out of here. I can't really, I'm going to figure this out. Oh, look. Oh, look. Oh, can y'all see that? Oh, yeah. Look. I can see, look. I just had to finesse the system real quick. Ooh, ooh, I just had to finesse the system real quick. Hey, I was finna log off because I was getting frustrated. Couldn't get my mouse working. hey, hey, look, that's just proof right there. uh, that's funny as hell. That's proof right there. Look, when you are trying to do something, um, and you do come across a couple of hurdles, roadblocks, you know what I mean, whatever you want to call it. um, Sometimes you just gotta continue to pull through, you know what I mean. um, Stick with it. Like I said, I couldn't get my presentation going because my mouse was tripping this whole time. I was finna hop off. Hit the Control Alt Delete. You know what I mean? Just to see. You know what I mean? One last attempt, and it worked. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Most High for that. But stick to shit, man. You know what I mean? It may get challenging. When I started the video and my mouse was tripping, you know what I mean? I wanted to go ahead and cut it off, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna try to, at least get a good 20 minutes talking about, you know what I mean, a little bit of stuff, and then I just kept going, and now we're here. I'm almost at the 50-minute marker. You know what I mean? 20 minute, 30 minutes past the time I at least wanted to do because I just wanted to get my thoughts off on the Joe Biden and Brittney Griner, since I couldn't get my mouse working. You know what I mean? So I was just gonna get a couple of thoughts off on that and then just stop. But I stuck with it, figured it out. Now we rolling. You feel me? You see me rolling. They hating. I should play that. I don't even know if I can play music, but you know what I mean? We're going to go ahead. Fair use disclaimer. This is for educational purposes. This is for educational purposes. All right. Ride with me. You feel me? We're going to go ahead and get into some of these videos. You feel me? We're going to go ahead and get in this song. Hold on. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? Fair use disclaimer. on all this content. You feel me? On all these videos we finna watch. You know what I mean? Fair use this for educational. Let me go ahead and stop you right quick. This is for educational purposes. You know what I mean? For you, for me, for everybody. You feel me? So we're gonna go ahead and get into some of these topics. Just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there. Hopefully YouTube, when I upload this on there, they don't mark it. They don't take it down. You feel me? Hopefully you watching and enjoying. Comment, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. You know what I mean? We're gonna get back into it. I'm gonna pause it for a minute. I need to go get me something to drink. I'm excited. Feel me? Got my mouse working. Gonna get into this presentation. Feel me? Get this content created. You feel me? We out here.